Funny I didn't hear you knock, Obi.
I had to talk to you.
You have been working with AIM.
Don't look so surprised.
Why?
Because you won't work with me, Tony. You're selfish. You always have been.
You better get out of here, Stain. How could you do business with AIM? They're a sick bunch of...
Don't get on your high horse, Tony. Stark Industries is no better than they are. Your Iron Man suit is an incredible invention. You're Mona Lisa, and you're keeping it to yourself. Imagine what the Pentagon could do with an army of Iron Men.
And imagine what the bad guys could do.
Can't control that. You can only make the best product possible and bring it to market first.
You're gonna need to leave before I have you arrested.
I have your original Iron Man suit.
What? How?
Some men will do anything for money, Tony. Even you should understand that. The suit is a marvel. Only one problem. No power source. Even money, it seems, can't produce one. We've tried. Nobody's as smart as you, Tony.
And they never will be.
Your life's been a waste, Tony. But your death will be a gift to the world.
Tony, it's Rhodey. They've got Pepper.
Tony, take it easy. You shouldn't even be alive after that.
Olive, are you sure Pepper's here?
No doubt about it. Our intel says it's an AIM research facility.
Which building?
Our guess is the central one with the reactor. Seriously, you okay?
Just fine, Stain.
This is Pepper calling. Come in. Tony! They're using me as bait.
I know. You okay?
I'm fine. Just be careful, okay?
Sit tight. I got you.
Voltage surge detected.
Gunships are surrounding the reactor. Pepper's in danger.
Anvil missiles detected, sir.
Is it just me, or does it seem like the core is feeding off the Tesla towers?
Each of the towers provides an equal portion of energy to the core reactor, directly influencing the size of the Tesla impulse.
Huh. Interesting.
Incoming missiles detected. Missiles are targeting the main reactor.
Why would they target their own reactor?
Doesn't matter. Pepper's in there.
This is definitely one of the most hated missions, if not the most hated mission of this game. But I think if you pay attention, it's not all that bad. At almost any given moment, there will be a whole flurry of missiles heading toward the reactor core, and what you need to do is simply shoot them out of the air. One explosion triggers another missile's explosion, and soon you have a chain reaction and the whole volley is gone. Over here are Tesla towers. Flying through these Tesla towers triggers an electromagnetic pulse that destroys anything that comes near the core reactor, including missiles.
What's going on out there?
Taking care of business, Pepper.
Just be careful. There are innocent people.
Protecting every building is exceedingly difficult, sir. If the main reactor is compromised, we're all going to die.
Shut up, Jarvis.
As Jarvis said, there are innocent people in this level that we should protect, and they are inside the Tesla towers. But as he also said, it is nearly impossible to save them all, and I've never done so successfully. I'm sure it's physically possible. Anyway, back to that electromagnetic pulse. It stays around the core generator for a while, core reactor for a while, acting as a shield. But eventually it overloads, and then you have to drive yourself back into one of the Tesla towers to reactivate it. Now, I can imagine the problems people had with this mission. They might not have been driving themselves through these Tesla towers like I just did. They might not have been shooting the missiles. But, you know, if you listen to the dialogue, you would find out about the Tesla towers. And it's just common sense to shoot the missiles, right? Because they're heading for Pepper, and you don't want them to get there, so you should shoot them. I think the moment that Obadiah betrays Tony is really powerful, because up until that point, even if we knew Obadiah was doing some skeevy stuff, in that specific moment he just ran up and yanked Tony's heart out. And even if we knew he was a bad guy, that's still really shocking to see. I also adore the voice acting for Obadiah in this game, and Jeff Bridges can eat his heart out. He has the perfect tone in his voice to make Obadiah seem detached from the situation, yet incredibly ruthless and arrogant at the same time. The voice actor in this game does, I mean, again, Jeff Bridges can eat his heart out. It's nice to see villains like Obadiah that aren't outright evil, but they don't ever question what they're doing either, because they just assume they're right by default. Like, the amount that Obadiah wants to have an argument with you about the casualties of war is 0%. But on the other hand, I'm sure he would enjoy giving a lecture on the necessities of war economy. And maybe also capitalism in general. Obadiah also has an interesting relationship with entitlement. He certainly believes that Tony is entitled, there's no question about that. But he's also blind to his own entitlement and thinking he's allowed to have the Iron Man suit. It's not like he really has to answer to people that think he's wrong. Especially after Tony's dad was gone. I mean, who's gonna tell him that he's wrong? The government? The government doesn't give a shit. I mean, obviously the government cares about AIM at this point, but good luck proving that Obadiah is actually working with them. Even with Rhodey knowing what's going on, it's not like the higher-ups are just gonna take his word for it. They need some kind of legitimate direct threat from Obadiah to do anything. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, Rhodey asked why would they target their own reactor, and the answer to that is simple. Getting rid of Iron Man is worth destroying their reactor. They just care more about getting rid of Iron Man than their own property. Iron Man is clearly a greater threat than destroying a few buildings are. I mean, he's destroying more of their investments, that's for sure. It's kind of an incredibly evil plan when you think about it. They bring Tony here to save Pepper, but they're not even aiming for Tony when he gets here. They're aiming for the reactor to destroy Tony and everything around him, to make sure he dies, because they know that their weapons alone aren't enough. It's a pretty good trap, and the only flaw in it is... Ow, shit. The only flaw in it would be if Tony did not care about Pepper enough. But is that really an issue? I mean, I'm sure Obadiah told them how much Pepper meant. And even if he didn't, why would they care if one girl gets destroyed in their plan to destroy Iron Man? Like, if their plan didn't work, really, what is the loss to them? Almost nothing. Some random office girl dies, so what? They just killed like 10 million people yesterday. It's all good. And when you think about how we've been consistently forcing them into a corner, it's inevitable that they would try something like this. I'm sure they've got a lot of money, but they've got to be taking quite a hit at this point.
More incoming missiles detected.
Targeting the reactor?
Affirmative, sir. Destruction of the reactor will result in an explosion in the 20 kiloton range.
Lunatics.
Core reactor taking damage. Enemies retreating from battle, sir.
Leaving? Is that it? Did we win? Something feels wrong here.
Reactor overloaded, sir. Warning. Large cluster of missiles approaching from all directions.
You've made stating the obvious a part of the choice.
Core reactor under attack. Core reactor taking damage. Reactor damage at 50%. Voltage surge detected. Core reactor taking damage. Reactor stabilized. Core reactor under attack. Voltage surge detected. Core reactor under attack. Reactor overloaded, sir. Core reactor taking damage.
It's over, Pepper. We're leaving.
is absolutely out of control. I'm gonna talk to Washington and see if I can...
No.
Tony.
Later, I'm bringing Pepper home.